I'm Fox Wild, and welcome to Channel 42, where we talk about a little bit of everything. Now, if you're a single woman, no older than 21, and you're interested in digging the Foxy One, you can check out the video, Date Fox Wild, Hunting a Unicorn, where I list my requirements. You have to be a down-to-earth, a natural girl, a nature girl. Not quite a hippie because I'm Jewish, and I'm not, that astrology stuff not going to work. But you have to be a good level-headed woman who wants to build something with her man. Because I've got a lot of good years left in me, at least 60. And check the video out. That's Date Fox Wild, Hunting a Unicorn. And if you'd like to support the Foxy One financially, as I do get by on disability, and your support would be greatly appreciated until I can get this, because I'm trying to be a content creator. Being I'm handicapped, I've been reduced to a mind and a mouth, and I'm doing this now. And financial, well, I'm not up to where I'm earning any money from YouTube yet, but I'm working on it. You can support me directly via PayPal at paypal.me/foxwild42. And to read some of the writings from this massive cranium of mine, and the intellect and depth and the scribe-like quality of myself, you can go to wattpad.com/foxwild42 and check out the novels there, where I am wrapping up the first book in the trilogy, the Watermelon Brain trilogy, that is Servants and Masters. That will be finished very soon. I've only got 2 chapters left to post. Then on that I will be posting the second book in the Protectors series. That will be going up on wattpad.com/foxwild42. Please give it a read. These are full novels. These aren't little cutesy little short stories. They're written from the street level. So if you can't stand some cussing and swearing, then they're probably not for you. There is, however, a moral message in everything I write. You can also check it out on inkit.com/foxwild42. Again, the first book in the Watermelon Brain trilogy, Servants and Masters, is about to be concluded there as well. Then I will be posting a prequel in the Protectors series. It'll only be available on inkit.com right now, and that is a book with an entirely different flavor and feel, kind of a cursed items and these investigators that deal with it. That is London's Treasures. A lot of plot twists in it, and things that are just not what you'd expect. So give it a read and check it out there. All right, I posted one video here on Charlie Kirk and why his life and work was pretty much irrelevant. This is my second and probably my final video on Charlie Kirk, and this one is dealing with the death of Charlie Kirk and how pointless and worthless that was as far as what happened. I mean, it's a very sad event and it never should have happened, but what happened by those that supported him, and even other YouTubers who took great pleasure in posting videos about how liberals celebrated Charlie Kirk and his passing, and then got fired from their jobs. In my humble opinion, you're no better than the one who did the act, or the liberals themselves, because you're taking great pleasure in someone else's misfortune. Get what I'm saying? Why was Charlie Kirk's death absolutely pointless, and what should have happened? Well, George Floyd was mentioned, and how after his passing, the riots and everything. And then there's all the Charlie Kirk supporters on the conservative side, which honestly, that's the side I would fall, only I'm what you would call an extremist. That many of the so-called good conservatives have an attitude against, because they're too busy being meek, which rhymes with weak, basically enabling the left to do whatever they want. Because Charlie Kirk, after his passing, they took great pride in announcing to the world that There were no riots, and nobody lost their lives. Patting themselves on the back for that. That's not anything to be proud of. That just goes to show the other side, the left. You know, the DNC, for those of you in Rio Linda, the Democrats, they have nothing to fear from you. You're just going to sit there and take it like a little lapdog. Woof, woof. Clinging to your guns, God, and Jesus. You have no spine, you have no chandeliers.
He sends one of yours to the hospital, you send one of his to the morgue.
What should have happened after Charlie Kirk? Well, rampant riots and everything is not the answer. What happened with George Floyd. But riddle me this, in 5 years, if you go and do some of these street interviews that you may see videos of, and you ask people, do you know who George Floyd is? Odds are the majority of people are going to remember who George Floyd was. Then ask them the same question. Do you know who Charlie Kirk was? It's my prediction that the greater majority of people will have to stop and think about, who was Charlie Kirk, wasn't he? You think I'm joking? William Snowden. Mean anything to any of you weak-kneed, wimpy little conservatives who like to cling to their God's gun and Jesus? Forgetting the other half of the Second Amendment, that of a well-armed militia. Have you ever actually read the Federalist Papers like the Foxy One has? See, I hold very truly these words. We the people, in order to form a perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and ensure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution of the United States of America. Schoolhouse Rock!
The first part of the Constitution is called the Preamble and tells what those founding fathers set out to do.
We the people, in order to form a more perfect union.
I hold to the Constitution. And for those of you who may be like me, who took an oath at one point in your life to protect this nation from threats both foreign and domestic, I tell you now we have a domestic threat. The woke and the transgender, the colleges, they have turned this generation against us. They are a lost cause. And Charlie Kirk was taken by this lost cause, and you did nothing to give them anything to fear. We're going to stand here and hold a vigil and pray. You know how to tell somebody you don't give a rip about them and you're going to do absolutely nothing to help them? Praying for you. I mean, how do you actually know if they did? And even if they did pray for you, what good's it going to do in the long run? See, if you ever got your head out of the false testament with a bunch of illiterate fishermen and take a good hard look at the Torah especially and the rest of the Tanakh, there's a very clear thing that happens. Moses didn't just go into his tent and pray and then come out and say, okay, we're going to sit here and everybody pray together. Called the tribes together. Come on, we're going to do something. Dan, you're going off on flank on that side. Judah, you're going to back them up. And you, the Levites, you're going to get that ark and you're going to be right in front of everybody and we're going to go take care of some business.
And I've been taking care of business every day. Taking care of business and working overtime. Work out.
Prayer is always followed by action. And the whole point of the Second Amendment is to maintain a well-armed militia. Why? Well, it may shock you to find out what I'm about to tell you. See, the very men like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin and even John Hancock, all these people, they weren't Americans. The people who founded this country originally all considered themselves British citizens. Paul Revere would have wrote his ride going, the British are coming, because as far as everyone was concerned, they were British. More like, the regulars are coming, because we were British. What they did was they grabbed their squirrely guns and really gave them hell and fought against their own government. That's the point of a well-armed militia. And we have a lot of boys in states, I won't mention that, maintain camps where they do pseudo-military training. These are the extremists that I support. What we need is to get more extreme if we're going to fight for this country, in my humble opinion, and take action not unlike the Minutemen did in their day. Only not be as chaotic and anarchist as the left is with their trained puppets, like Antifa and the rioters, and actually do this in a more proper way to take back our country from a domestic threat. That is why we have the Second Amendment rights, and why a well-armed militia, not our military, a well-armed militia, to protect ourselves from an overbearing and overpowering government, which is very much the case today. Consider this. During the times of George Floyd, afterwards, the big battle cry was, defund the police. I agree with defund the police, in a certain way. The Democrats were quick to jump on this bandwagon of defund the police and support these anarchists. And because of this, a lot of police quit. Riddle me this, children. Who do you think quit? The cops that we have only because we lowered standards so much that they were allowed to go in, or the good cops who actually take the job seriously? I would say that the bad cops stayed because they like the power, because basically what we've done is taken the schoolyard bullies and given them a badge and a gun. We've taken the bullies and put them in charge of the playground. Joseph Biden even said in one statement he wanted to get certain types of people out of the military. Of course, when you're trying to build a Schutzstaffel, you don't want real patriots. Just like in the police force, you don't want people who will really stand and uphold the law. You want those in the Gestapo mindset. People who will do it for the power and the thrill. And that's why Charlie Kirk's death is as meaningless as his life. He started fighting against this liberalism and the woke way too late in the game. You need to start in the beginning. See, that's what Adolf Hitler did. And that's why we had the Hitler Youth. He got them when they were young. In 1986, I mentioned this in my previous video, I met a woman who was raised as a Hitler Youth, who immigrated to this country. And 40 years later, she still thought Adolf Hitler was the best of the best, better than sliced bread. That's what you're fighting against. You need to start the fight early. And you need to consider this generation that's in college right now as lost. You need to consider them the enemy. And you need to fight this the way the Minutemen and those people who freed our country from Great Britain did back in the day. And just like George Washington, you need to be willing to wrap your feet up and do the unthinkable or the unexpected and cross that Delaware. That's why we need to not be more passive and show the Democrats how much they can get away with, and show the left that we will do absolutely nothing. That is nothing more than weakness. In order to change this country, you're going to need to make a mess. It's been said by many people, I've heard many people say this, that civil war is coming to this country and that it's going to happen really soon. Riddle me this, children. Why are you waiting for the left to start it? Why not be a little more proactive and take charge? Because eventually groups like Antifa that carry around little toys, they won't be carrying toys. Why do you want to start from behind? Take the initiative and fight for this country like you claim you want to when you stand behind your Second Amendment rights and your right to bear arms. What does that mean? Anything to you? So you can keep them locked up in your hunting cabinet? Or are you willing to do something to take our country back from the domestic threat we have? See, I never untook my oath to defend this nation from a threat both foreign and domestic. Have you? If you've taken that oath? If you aren't willing to do it, I guess maybe you're a former Marine. I served in the Army. I trained Marines how not to kill themselves with their cannon. I have a real tight connection with the Corps. Love their attitude. I'd have never made a good Marine. But if I had it to do all over again, I would enlist in the Navy and request to be a corpsman with the Marine Corps. Because that's the type of attitude we need with a well-armed militia from those unknown states to actually conduct a military-like operation against the threat that is domestic here in the United States. I'm Fox Wild, and you can check out my novels at rented lips at wattpad.com/foxwild42, where I will be finishing up the first book in the Watermelon Brain trilogy, Servants and Masters. And once that's done, I will be posting the second book in the Protectors trilogy. On inkit.com/foxwild42, I will be also finishing up that first book in the Watermelon Brain trilogy, but then I will be posting a prequel book involving one specific character primarily in the Protector series, and there's a couple other minor ones that make an appearance in there as well, and that is London's Treasures. And like I said, it's a prequel. It'll be on inkit.com/foxwild42. And if you're a woman no older than 21 and you're interested in dating and marrying the Foxy One, check out Date Fox Wild, Hunting a Unicorn. It's up on both YouTube and Rumble. And if you'd like to support my insanity, you can do this via PayPal at paypal.me/foxwild42. Until next time, you've been watching Channel 42. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. It helps. I am trying to become a content creator and get out of poverty with this stuff. So please like and subscribe and donate if you're willing. Semper Fi, Semper Paratus.